Many of your people on your planet think you're only using about 10 to 15% of your brain, but that's nonsense. You're using 100% of your brain, but you're using 100% of your brain to make it seem as if you're only using 10. So just understand that the only reason you could experience the idea of 10% of your brain is if you're actually using 100% of your brain to make that experience seem real. And when you realize, oh, I am using 100% of my brain, just not in the way I prefer to, then perhaps you can start using your brain in the way that you want, in the way that you prefer. You understand?
Yes.
Does that help you?
It does. I think there's a difference between, as you say, grasping something intellectually and it actually dropping down into the consciousness.
Well, this is why we say that action and knowing are synonymous.
Yes.
And of course, the beginning of allowing that idea of separation experience to dissolve is to not make a difference between the idea of an intellectual understanding and a true knowing.
Yes.
Because many times when people say, well, I understand it intellectually, well, no, you don't understand it. Because you're making a differentiation that intellectual understanding and knowing it has to be something different. It doesn't really have to be. You know what you know.
Yes.
Period. What you don't know, you don't know. Period. That's it. You don't have to say, well, I have an intellectual understanding. A true understanding means you know it, you live it, you breathe it.
Yes.
You do it. Now, you might say, well, I have some sort of mental comprehension of the concept in general. If that's what you mean by an intellectual understanding, well, that's fine. But the idea of having some form of a comprehension of how a different language might be similar to the language you're familiar with doesn't mean that you're actually speaking that language. Speak the language. You understand?
Yes.
All right. Does that help?
It does.